All right, let's go ahead and get started. I want to start off by saying thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules and joining us today. I know it's a hectic time for most of us, especially right now. My name is Jess, and I'm the marketing manager here at Index.io. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, just place them into the chat window and we'll answer them at the end. We'll also be recording this, and a link to the recording will be included in the follow-up email. So I'm sure it's no secret to any of you that the legal world is facing a boatload of challenges with electronic discovery. Challenges like data accessibility, scalability, management, and overwhelming costs. And these challenges are the exact reason Index.io was created. We took the latest technologies and made the most comprehensive e-discovery tool in the industry. So what's so special about us? Well, Index.io is a true do-it-yourself intuitive platform. This means you can get up and running in minutes without ever talking to a sales rep or even utilizing a project manager. We also cut traditional processing times from days to minutes with our auto scale technology. Need to fire up Index.io on the go? No problem. We offer a free mobile iPad app that is easy, intuitive, and secure. You can literally review, code, redact, and organize your e-discovery documents no matter where you are. Index.io is also the only e-discovery solution that provides a daily hosting model. So what does this mean? Well, it means you have more predictable billing, easier project management, and no minimum hosting charges. There are also no long-term restricting contracts, no licensing fees, no user fees, and no minimums per month. And now for the main event. Austin, our support representative here at Index.io, is going to lead the discussion for you today. Austin?
All right, thanks for that intro, Jess, and thanks everyone joining us today. Our topic today is we're going to talk about some third-party utilities that are nice things to have in your eDiscovery toolbox. Some stuff that's going to make it easier to just work with electronic data, some stuff that'll help out with Index.io, and just some tools that are good security practice in general. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a utility I like to use called LastPass. And this is a password manager. And whether you decide to use this one or some other password manager, I know there's like KeePass and some other utilities available, but I strongly recommend everyone out there has a password manager that they use. And the whole concept behind LastPass is that it's the last password you're ever going to have to remember. When you set up an account, you'll pick one password, and for this password, I'd pick something easy to remember, but fairly complex, maybe like a favorite line from a song or a book. Something that is definitely going to be easy to remember, but that's complex enough that computer systems aren't going to be able to crack it. And really, this password is going to secure all of the other passwords that you use. From here on, once you start using a password manager, you can even have it just generate passwords for you for all the new signups that you create. And this is something that I do, so I only have to remember the one password that I sign into this account with. It generates all my other passwords for me. And then it just makes it really easy. You don't have to track, hundreds of different things. All of your passwords then are going to be high quality, secure passwords. And if you go into the vault for this utility here, you can see it's got all of these different accounts saved for me. I can create secure notes if I want. You can even store like credit cards and bank account info in this if you want. It's all very, very secure. This program I like particularly because it doesn't store all of this necessarily in like their cloud system. It authenticates it locally for you. So it's very, very secure, and you can even use it works as a browser extension in Chrome, Firefox, all the main browsers, and they also have an iPhone app as well that you can transfer stuff over to. So if you use like face recognition or like a thumbprint recognition on your phone, that's really the only thing you need to access all of your different passwords across all of your different sources. Really, really powerful tool that I enjoy using a lot. It makes it really easy to. So that's our first one is LastPass password manager. It's a free utility. Very strongly recommend people use a password manager to secure all of their information here. All right, so our second utility that we're going to talk about today is something that comes included in Microsoft Outlook by default, actually. It's called ScanPST, and this is a utility that we use a lot. What it does is it will scan your PST and Outlook files and recover any errors, clean up problems with the data if something's become corrupt over time. It's just a really good utility that solves just 95% of the issues that I see in PST files. Really, I'd recommend if you have the time, run everything that you're going to end up processing in Index.io through the through the ScanPST utility. just because you can then know for sure that it's in the best quality shape that it can be. It's going to process as fast as possible. It's not going to come out with errors. It's an unnecessary step sometimes, but if you've got the time and the resources to handle it, it can definitely help speed things up for you. And it's really easy to use. Once you open up the utility, all you have to do is come in and browse, find your Outlook file here, open it up, tell it to start, and then it's going to run through. It's going to do a number of checks here, and at the end it'll let you know whether or not it did find errors. It looks like it did find some issues in this file, so I can hit repair. And there we go. It's a small PST file, so pretty quick process. Some of the bigger ones can take a little bit more time, but really handy. Anytime we see issues with PST files, they're not coming out quite right or not processing correctly, this is the utility that we're going to use. So it's something that comes in Outlook if you want to leverage that on your end to use it on yourself. A great utility that can just help clean up email data a little bit. So a quick one there. Our third utility is something called Everything. And this is a really cool search utility. Windows has its built-in searching. You can come down here in the quick bar and say, find me if I was looking for scan PST, like our just example was. I can type that in, it'll find it for me, but the Windows search I found is not super high quality. It'll try to find results on the web sometimes. You see you've got a breakdown here of like find apps or documents or web searching. But really I see it miss stuff a lot. So I like this other utility. It's got some other stuff, some cool tricks that you can use as well. It's called Everything. And so to get this, it's also a free utility. You got to go in here and just type into Google download Everything. It's always a fun search to do. And it's this one here from Void Tools. Download the installer for your particular system and it'll set it up for you. And so this is the interface for this utility. I can come up at the top, and one of the cool things that I like about this is I can just search across the board for different file types. So if I wanted to say, show me every PDF file I've got on my computer, I can do wildcard.pdf, and there very quickly you can see all of these results that it has for me. That's one of the things I like over the Windows search is it's very, very fast. You can see all the path information, the size, the dates on it right in this utility. I can even come right here and just copy the file right there. Paste it on my desktop, and there it is. I can grab everything I need right from this tool. I don't have to copy the path and find it in Windows or anything like that. Just a very fast, it indexes your whole computer very quickly, makes it really, really easy to search across the entire system all in one. I like it a lot better than the Windows search. So if you find yourself doing a lot of searching, or you're struggling to find different documents, maybe you have network drives where stuff's been stored over the years and it's kind of gotten lost, you're not really sure how to access it, it works much better than the default Windows one. I like it a lot. Okay, so our next utility is called CCleaner, and this is just a cleanup tool for your computer. It's going to go through and clean up old Windows updates, temporary files, stuff like that. You can come in here, and when you open it up, it'll show you all the stuff it's going to clean for you. You can select different options over here on the left, clean up different applications over on the right. Really the best all-in-one system cleanup tool that I've found. You can do registry edits if you need to in this. That's a little bit more advanced. I haven't messed around with that option too much. But it also has some other tools. You can pick like which programs start up with your computer. If you notice that your computer takes a while to turn on, it can help to come in here and turn some of these off, speed things up a little bit. It even has a drive wiper. We use this one a lot. Actually, this will come in, and if you have an old hard drive that you need to get rid of, and you want to make sure that there's no extra, data lurking on there, that you've wiped it completely. Even if you just go in and delete everything, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's totally gone, because sometimes, people can come in and use recovery software to pull some of that back. But if you use this utility, you can come in and have it overwrite a drive for you with just garbage data and make sure that it's all really totally gone. So a couple different things that this tool will do. Its main utility really is to clean up your system, so you can come in, tell it to analyze. It's going to run through and check and find all these different things that it can clean up, tell you how much space it can save you, and then once you're happy with the selections, you can run that. So really the best all-in-one, easy-to-use system cleanup tool that I've seen. Great utility there. All right, and then our last utility today is going to be one you've probably worked with before. Everyone knows, Adobe Acrobat. for PDF data, this is the industry standard. It's, across the board, just nothing handles PDFs as well as this does. So I'm just going to take a second to kind of show you some of the different tools that you can do in here and some of the things that we use it for. So I very much recommend, if you work with a lot of PDFs, legal, they see these all the time. So if you run across a lot of that, pay for the pro version. It's going to let you edit PDFs, OCR your PDFs. It'll give you all these different utilities aside from just being able to actually open up and look at PDFs. That's all the free one really does. So if you work with a lot of PDF data, the pro version is very much worth it. All right, so I'm going to open up a PDF here, and we'll work with it a little bit. So here's an extracted conversation from our new mobile data viewer. If you're saving, iPhone images out of Celebrite and then processing them with our system, this is kind of an example of what that data is going to look like once you actually produce it. But this gives us something, to work with here in Adobe. So the first thing I'm going to do is come over to the side panel here and hit Edit. And this is going to immediately, this is something only the pro version does, but it makes all of the text in here editable. If this wasn't something you were going to actually produce, but just a PDF you were creating, like a legal form for, you can come in here and click on anything here, edit the information, and just kind of work with it from there. If you were going to, be producing this document, if this was something you wanted to prepare for a case, you can come up here at the top and add Bates numbers right in Adobe. So I come in here and click Add. OK, and I've got some settings saved. These match the settings that we have come out of our system, so you can customize all of the different options, how you want the Bates number to actually appear, and then save those settings to come back to later, so it's easy to have a nice, consistent, all-in-one format. So I'm going to come down and say in the bottom right, I want to add a Bates number. We'll just call that Bates, start at number 1, OK, and there we go. Hit OK, it's going to add that into the document. If it was a multi-page document, it would go through and do that to all of them. But there we have our Bates number now in the bottom right. Something else you can have Adobe do is OCR your documents. If you want these to have searchable text, or maybe you got like a document production that came in and the only searchable text it had is Bates numbers. Maybe they went through the process and did that thing I just did where I added a Bates number, but before that the document hadn't been OCR'd. Well, when you process a document like that in Index.io, that means that the only thing it's going to see for searchable text is this Bates number, and of course it's nice that you can search the Bates number then. But it would be really nice to have all of this other information searchable as well. So you can either process it and reach out to us and have us, force an OCR on the document, or if it's just a handful, they're like that in advance, you can come over here and go to the OCR option. Come to the top, recognize text in this document, or even you can pass it to like an entire folder if you've got a whole bunch of them to do at once. Start that off, and it's going to run through and then OCR the document for you. So really, those are the top things that we work with in Adobe, either Bates numbering or OCR or just editing PDFs. So those are the basics. There's obviously a lot of tools you can get in and work with here in the Pro version. But Adobe Acrobat, something that everybody should familiarize themselves with and have accessible because PDF data is just so prevalent, especially in legal. All right, and so those are our recommended utilities. I'll hang out a little bit in case anyone has any questions. We'll take a look at that chat and see what's come up.